Hi, I'm Jack, and today we're going to go over some machines. It's a great way to get you started in the gym. Of course, you would warm up first. I always recommend 10 to 20 minutes of a light cardio warm up to get the blood flowing, bring some blood to your muscles and your connective tissue. And then you can do your resistance exercise. I think it's important to have both resistance and cardio in your program to burn the fat and also to keep it off. I like to teach people to not just sit in a machine. The last person before you wasn't the same height and they're not the same strength. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the seat. For me, I know I'm a seat adjustment number 4 on here. And the reason that it's a seat adjustment number 4 is because my hand will be in line with my pectoral muscle that I'm using because it's a chest press machine. And also there's range of motion right here. I want to get 2. I don't want to go to an extreme all the way, but I still want my full range of motion on it. So I'm going to use number 2 for my range of motion. Then I can sit down in the machine. And these machines are air pressure, so I'm going to be able to pump up the weight. So let's say I give myself about, 50 pounds. You see how I sat so that my hands are right in line with my pectoral muscle. Always using good posture. I have my feet wide, my butt's all the way in the back, exaggerating that natural curve of the spine, whether we're standing, seated, or lying on a bench. So I'm going to get right back in my good posture, squeeze, and return slowly. I always like a nice 5-second repetition. My opinion is that machines are inherently isolation. I see a lot of people whipping them real fast, but that's dangerous. Another thing too is range of motion. So I'm going to go to one arm. When I press this, that I want to go back to about 90 degrees at my elbow, maybe break that by about an inch, but that's enough. If I go deeper than 90, I'm going to round out my shoulder, and that's why I set my range of motion on number 2 anyways, so that I could get that. So on a machine, I'd go about 10 or 12 repetitions, maybe 3 sets, and I wouldn't sit here in between the sets. I'd get up and move on to another machine, keep the blood flowing. It's not a mass builder. We want to just keep moving like that. So now I'm going to do the opposing exercise. That was a chest press. This is a back row. So that one was pushing, this one's pulling. And set my range of motion right here, number 2. Set my seat adjustment, number 4. It's already there. And then when I get in, I'm going to use the lower handles for the back row because I think it's a safer way to get started. With the upper handles, you're probably going to be rounding the shoulder a little bit. So I'd rather have a beginner start on the inner handle for now. And then these pads here, I try to teach people that it's not for your chest. You don't want to be leaning in, only to get the weight. But once you've got the weight, you draw your body right back into that natural curve of the spine again. Always exaggerate in that position, keeping your eyes up at your own height as if there's an imaginary mirror right in front of you. So then I'll squeeze at 80-degree elbow, 1, 2, 3 on the return. The return is your negative. When we pull, that's your positive. The negative actually has more benefit than the positive does. So that's why I want to make sure that I'm going nice and slow on my negative. Always feel the weight. I'm a big believer in 60 seconds of perpetual motion when you're working on a machine. A lot of people are jerk, 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 and they're stopping on both ends. I like to see it more smooth than that. So those were a couple good upper body machines, and I just wanted to show something for the lower body too. Leg press is a very primary movement, but it's still a machine. So machines, again, they're isolation, so it's more inherently secondary movements. That's why it's a great start, but you really don't want to stay on machines forever. You need to advance to some free weights, cables, etc. So on this leg press, I'm going to set the seat adjustment first before I get in there. I know I'm all the way up on my number 4. And then when I get in here, you see how tight it is, that I'm beyond my 80-degree knee, just like I did with my elbow there, because I don't want the plates to clap every rep. So I put the weight up. Leg press, give myself some big weight, largest muscle group in the body. Always good posture, holding back. We squeeze without locking out the knee. 1, 2, 3, back to our 80 degrees. I see people going chop, chop, chop on this thing. We want a nice, long 5-second repetition. Always holding the handles on machines because that helps with posture. I see people pushing their knees on the leg press. It's causing them to slouch. It's hurting your knees. It's not what's best. Always looking at that imaginary mirror right up in front of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-second repetition. Like I say, about 12 repetitions. And then a secondary movement for your legs, where that was a quad for pressing. We're going to do a leg curl. And now this seat adjustment here is all the way up on number 3. I know that I'm a little bit longer than that. I'll use about a 5 so that the pad can be down low on my leg. I don't want it halfway up my calf. And then the same with this back here. I already know I'm about middle of the road. I'm not the tallest guy in the gym. I'm not the shortest person in the gym. So it's try to start yourself about the middle of the road. If there are 12 numbers on the seat adjustment, I might start at about 6 and then take it from there, adjust. Most machines have pivot points on them. So you see right here, this black mark is the pivot point. And that's going to line up with my knee joint, the pivot point of where this movement will occur. So I get in position. You see where my knee is pretty well lined up with the pivot point. On this particular machine, I drop the pad down to hold me in place. Give myself a little bit of weight. There we go. Always holding on to the handles for posture. So I'll squeeze into about 80 degrees at the knee and returning slowly. So I just showed 4 machines, general overview of the whole body, a couple upper bodies, a couple of lower bodies, but to get the whole idea that we're going to go nice and slow on a machine. Well, not really slow, but to feel the weight. Controlled is the word that I love to use. I'm not bouncing or jerking on either end because that's going to hurt my joints. And remember, 12 repetitions, go around the whole circuit of whatever brand of machine they have. That'll be like a whole body workout, and always warm up first. And you can do some cardio after your weights. I tell my clients to do less than 20 minutes of cardio before the weight training session and more than 20 minutes of cardio after the weight training session. Fat's the last thing the body wants to burn, so do it in that order. So thanks for listening, and subscribe or check out Ask Jack for more videos.